with games potentially costing $70 this generation, will we see the price of PSN and Xbox Live go up? And will gamers accept that? Here's the thing. Before all of this, I would have said yes, they are going to go up. But now, after this, they're going to be very wary. Like, Sony was looking at this whole time, like, oh shit, we better not raise the price of PSN now. And Xbox, they ain't raising that price of gold for a minute, So, I personally, I don't think we're going to see a price hike of either of those services. And also, just a caveat real quick, and then I'll let you guys go. So far, Sony is the only one that's charging people $70 for games. For Sony first party games. Those are the only ones so far. So it's not all the industry. We may see that. We probably will, but just getting that out there. Sony mostly, and a couple of third parties here and there. But Microsoft, they're not charging you $70 for their first party games, Yeah,
when Hitman came out, Hitman 3, IO kept emphasizing that. It was like, oh no, $59.99 everywhere. Just don't understand. Yeah, $59.99 on PS5. Yeah, there's a version there. That's $59.99. They're really pushing that because, the narrative seems to be that, this gen, all the games are going to be $70, and that's not true.
Yeah.
It amazes me how fast that was normalized. Like, I just got to say, on the back of just, seeing everybody, lose their shit. I know that there was some grumbling when Sony's like, games are $70 now. But for the most part, a lot of Sony fans were like, thank you. And it was weird. That's not the proper response to a price hike at all, but okay. And now everybody's just like, oh yeah, games are $70. Like, no, PlayStation, thank you for bringing that up, Tony, because most of the time that is stunningly just rolled past. And I'm just kind of like, okay, you're running so fast to shit on Microsoft, you're just gonna pass right by that whole $10 game hike. Like, we make fun of Nintendo for their Nintendo tax, but this isn't a big deal. And if it does happen to the rest of the industry, honestly, I'm going to blame Sony for that shit.
Oh, shit.
There's only one person to blame.
By the way, just to be fair, though, the first that actually did that was 2K. They were the first ones with a $70 game. They reversed it, obviously, but then Sony was like, oh, shit, people were okay with that? Fuck it, let's go.
Good idea.
Like right now we have a Returnal. Returnal's going to be $70. I'm like, that game, I'm sorry. Highest marquee, respect. That game doesn't look like a $70 game. I'm sorry. Anyway, continue, Brett.
No, that was about it. I just wanted to say, like, thanks for pointing that out, because it seems like people kind of forget about it.
Yeah, no, they do. But what's your take on it? Do you think after this that we're going to see the price of PSN or Xbox Live go up?
No. I don't think it was a thing where they needed the money. I think it was a thing where they were slowly trying to edge people more towards Game Pass as a better value. Because I don't see them hiking the price of Game Pass.
No,
it was just the Xbox or the gold. So like, it makes Game Pass cheaper, and it could have been a marketing ploy to be like, for just $4.99 more, you can get Game Pass. I don't know, but I guarantee you, it had something to do with how they're going to push Game Pass. If either they're just trying to push people into it because they're pretty much already playing it, or they want to advertise a lower price point. I'm not sure what it was, but this wasn't a move about making profits. This was a move to angle themselves to advertise a certain way.
Agreed.
So I don't think that you're going to miss the money all that bad.
I think that the most effective way to do this is not to have the way to undercut games with gold is not to raise the price to push people away from it, is to lower the price of the other one.
Of which one?
Of Game Pass.
Yeah, but that way they would actually be making less money. Like, see, I think this was a way to edge people to make a certain decision without biting into their profits and without actually having to lower the price of Game Pass.
Well, yeah, because they don't want to. They'll just leave it all. All those, again, they have all those people that are kind of just letting their games with gold kind of hang around there without actually touching it. And but I feel like the more effective way to do this is not exactly to raise the price, but to actually lower it. Maybe not a lot, but just to make this sort of situation better, to slowly phase out games with gold and essentially make Game Pass the thing that you get everything with. I
think if they only would have raised the price by maybe $10 for Xbox Live Gold, probably wouldn't have seen a backlash. People would be like, "Oh, that kind of sucks," and then just would have went with it, you know.
Well, I mean, isn't that what Sony has done and what they've usually done? It's like $5 increments or $10 increments.
Yeah,
like
that's my
like
point. That's my point.
If
If the increment wouldn't have been as bad for Xbox Live Gold, we wouldn't have seen an uproar. People would be like, "That kind of sucks," and then just go with it, you know. By the way,
they did it before when it used to be 50.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People just went with it.
But then they gave us a notice for like 4 or 5 months beforehand.
I know
happening.
this was just dropped out of nowhere. But Adam, since you're talking, what do you think? Do you think these subscription services will be the price of the subscription services will be affected by the price of games if they do start costing $70?
I think, at least for Microsoft, I still think that this is going to go free. Well, Xbox Live Gold is going to be a thing of the past. I know they're still making a lot of money from it. That's why they haven't done it. But at some point they have to change it. If they want to go all in on Game Pass, that's the best way to do it. Like, yeah, all right, that's all free, but they can get rid of, let's say that if they said, all right, you know what, Xbox Live is free. All right, there you go. It's free, but you no longer get the 2 games. The 2 free games, that's that. There's no more 2 free games. You just get to play multiplayer for free. You know, if you want any games, you got to go on Game Pass. I think people would be cool with that because then it's like, well, it's free for the multiplayer, and of course the free-to-play games are on there, and that's free. And so I think that's the plan. Could it go up? Yeah, I could see other ones going up, but we see the backlash of the $70 games, and right now, with the way the economy is all over the world, this is not the time to do it.
But there's not a lot of backlash for $70 games.
Well, they're not doing it. There is a backlash. There's no one's buying it, and I haven't seen any of the companies actually push it. Which game have we seen from a third party? Like even the NBA one, that didn't come out at the 70.
It didn't. Yeah, they rolled it back.
They quickly reversed. They could have just said, you know what? Let's see if people still buy this shit. You know, and they had the nerve to put ads and shit in that game. You know, even after the fact. But they reversed on it, and I think that's where we stand right now. If anything, it would take a big game, like we talked about. I think before we even hinted maybe with the Halo or something massive, or let's say the new GTA. If the new GTA 6 comes out and that's at $70, I think no one's going to argue. If it still has GTA Online and all that stuff, I think people would just be all in on it.
Call of Duty was $70. At launch for PS5.
That was the PS5 one. Yeah, if you had,
we're talking about next gen games costing $70. You know.
That's what. Well, the GTA 6.
Yeah,
that would be $70.
Yeah, but look, like I said, Returnal, that's $70. No one's complaining about that. They're like, oh, okay, whatever.
But are people going to buy it? Like that's the thing. You can't. We've argued this before. Even when it was $60, not all games are worth $60.
Yeah,
you can't just stick that stamp on. Oh, it's 60 because it's no. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think a lot of people already seeing it because let's say if you have a game and it's not going to qualify for a $60 game, but that's the average price, right? That's the competitive price. You're going to push it. And if they say, oh, the new one is 70, you know that you're barely going to get any sales right off the bat new for 60, and you're going to say, all right, I'm going to go with 70. Let's say a Monster Jam or one of those damn games that no one really gives a shit about. They're not going to do it. So I think a lot of companies are just going like, you know what, maybe we'll go hold off on that and just leave it at 60 for a while and then just play it by ear. So I think it's going to be like that. I don't see a big jump, or else they would have all done it. Just like they did when they went from 50 to 60. That felt like within the next week. Once they announced, it was like, oh, games are $60. And sure enough, you went to the store, every game, 59, 59, 59.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. But again, some games are still coming out at 70, and people don't seem to be complaining. You know,
let's see if they sell.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on this? Do you think we're going to see the price of PSN, Xbox Live go up?
I don't think it's going to happen right now. And if it does happen, it's probably just going to be a very low sort of a hike. But they're not going to do that, especially when all the attention is on it, right? Like it is right now.
Yeah, it's not going to happen for a few years, you know.
No, yeah, they're not going to do it because again, it's already fresh and or people have already sort of done it. So I think that Sony's going to wait on it, and I think even Microsoft is going to wait on it because they don't need. I feel like though I think Sony would survive the hike a little bit better than the Microsoft does because again, they don't. I definitely think that Microsoft doesn't want to draw any attention to any of their weaknesses.
Yeah.
If Microsoft was doing this and had a pot to piss in, I wouldn't say people would do it, but the people could actually see the reasoning behind it. right? But they didn't give any reasoning behind it. They didn't give like, oh, hey, you're going to get like 2 extra games when you do this, or they didn't sell you on it. They just said, okay, we're doing it double. And you're like, wait a minute, this is like the MTA. You keep raising their price, and the service keeps getting shittier.
Right.